Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going on a journey that, well, it really captures the absolute extremes of our world. We're talking about a place where pulse-pounding, literally terrifying danger sits right next door to ultimate, untouched serenity. It's a story of crazy engineering, breathtaking ancient architecture, and a secluded Himalayan sanctuary that honestly feels almost otherworldly.
So, it brings up a question that adventurous souls have been asking for decades, right? What exactly lies beyond the world's most dangerous road? I mean, if you're going to risk absolutely everything to navigate a path violently carved out of sheer cliffs, what on earth is the reward waiting for you at the very end?
Section 1. The deadliest road approaching Kinnaur.
Because to reach heaven, you've got to brave a pretty terrifying path first. The journey kicks off in Narkonda, which is this beautiful town surrounded by lush, green deodar forests that kind of lull you into a false sense of peace. But as you push further, boom, the environment just abruptly shifts. You hit the imposing Kinnaur Gate, and all that greenery, it completely vanishes. Instead, you're staring down harsh, barren mountains of jagged rock. And passing through this gate means you're stepping onto one of the most perilous stretches of pavement on Earth.
See, because these mountains are almost entirely solid rock, engineers had to use this wild, frankly terrifying method to build a highway here called half-tunneling. They literally sliced right into the vertical mountain faces to carve out a tiny ledge for the road. The result? As you drive, you're trapped under these massive, jagged rock overhangs suspended directly above your head. And I'm telling you, they look like they could collapse at literally any second.
So you're basically sandwiched between two terrors here. Look up, and you've got those unstable rocky overhangs threatening to crush you. Look down, and you are staring into a deep, plunging gorge dropping thousands of feet below. It's a completely dizzying, claustrophobic drive that would make even the most seasoned road tripper's head spin for sure.
Section 2. The Village of Kalpa, the Heavenly Reward.
Now, if you can actually stomach that terrifying drive, the rocky nightmare eventually gives way to an absolute sanctuary. Just 1,200 people, that is the entire population of Kalpa. It's this incredibly intimate, quiet little village woven together by narrow lanes bursting with rich apple orchards. After the sheer terror of the highway, arriving here feels, well, it feels exactly like stepping through the gates of heaven. But, it's not just the apples that make it heavenly. 80 feet. That's the towering height of a natural stone shivling perched way up on the neighboring Kinnaur Kailash peaks. And the craziest part about this massive natural shrine can be seen perfectly clearly right from the village. When you're actually standing in Kalpa, you are treated to this sweeping 180-degree panoramic view of that Kinnaur Kailash mountain range. We are talking about massive, white-capped, skyscraping peaks right in your face. In local belief, these very mountains are the mystical home of Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati, and the village just sits there, humbly bowing to this awe-inspiring divine landscape every single day. Now, to survive in the shadow of such massive mountains, locals rely on some pretty brilliant ancient engineering. Traditional Canary houses aren't just built, they are crafted. They use alternating layers of interlocking wood and stone for the walls, topped off with these incredibly heavy stone roofs. This design provides phenomenal natural insulation. It traps heat during those freezing Himalayan winters while keeping the homes perfectly cool during the summer. It's basically ancient science flawlessly adapted to extreme weather.
Section 3. A Harmony of Faiths, the Soul of Kalpa.
But physical architecture is really only half the story here. The true soul of Kalpa lies in its spiritual architecture. Take the Narayan Nagin Temple, for example. This is a staggering thousands of years old structure sitting at an altitude of 10,000 feet, and it's constructed entirely of wood. Visitors actually have to wear a traditional Kinnauri cap out of respect to go inside. Now, it's primarily dedicated to the Hindu god Lord Vishnu, but here's the fascinating twist. Carved intricately right into the wooden walls, alongside Hindu deities, you'll find sculptures of dragons, a motif heavily associated with Buddhist culture.
And that brings us to this really beautiful anomaly. Right adjacent to this ancient Hindu temple sits a Buddhist monastery. I mean, they literally share a wall. But more importantly than that, they share devotees. The locals in Kalpa, they don't draw hard lines. They flow seamlessly between the temple and the monastery, honoring the traditions of both Hinduism and Buddhism simultaneously.
There's this quote from a local resident that truly encapsulates the spirit of this place. Translated, it says, "We believe in Buddha and Hindu. For us, there is no difference. We believe in all of them. We are all one. In a world that is so often divided by beliefs, this hidden village stands as a quiet yet incredibly powerful monument to unity.
Section 4. The Trek to Chaka Peak, beyond the village.
A lot of visitors will just check out the village and head home. But for those seeking some raw adventure, there is an arduous climb waiting high above the tree line. Step 1 involves following a 5 to 6 kilometer trail that hugs a freezing mountain stream. And I mean water so cold it numbs your hands in literally seconds. Step 2 brings you to the source of that stream, a natural spring bursting directly out from a solid rock face. Finally, Step 3 requires about 3 hours of relentless upward trekking to reach your ultimate destination, a high-altitude meadow, or Bugyo, and the actual glaciers at 12,000 feet.
And you've got to keep in mind the extreme environment here. Even in early May, as you're traversing these dense alpine forests, snow heavily blankets the ground. This trail is so hidden and so remote that you're highly unlikely to see even a single other tourist. Your only companion might be a passing local shepherd grazing their sheep. It is the absolute definition of untouched solitude. Finally, you break through. The tree line just stops. You're standing at 12,000 feet before the expansive Shakabugyal, leading right up to the very edges of massive glaciers. And that Kinnaur mountain range you saw from down in the village? Well, you are now staring at it almost eye to eye. It's an overwhelming, majestic payoff that makes every single drop of sweat completely worth it.
We've seen the sheer terror of the cliffside roads, the unparalleled beauty of the village, the profound harmony of its people, and the raw, freezing adventure of those high peaks. So, I'll leave you with this. Are you willing to brave the world's deadliest road to experience this hidden Himalayan paradise for yourself? Thank you for joining me on this Explainer, and remember to keep exploring the fascinating extremes of our world.